As a CEO, when I build companies, it is hard for me to let go something I've worked so hard to build. So in this episode, as we head to Denver, where I'm going to speak at my own event, not anymore really, but SaaS Boardroom, one of the most elite rooms for software CEOs, I'm going from being the CEO to a guest speaker. I mean, it was freaking surreal. As an experience, it was kind of weird, but stick around because I'm going to tell you the important lessons I learned from all of it.
Where are we heading to? Denver.
Colorado.
Yeah, super weird, dude. It's so weird being a speaker at an event of a company I own. Half the room are like really good friends of mine.
Yeah.
It's tough, dude.
This event was really tough because even leading up to it, I wanted to be more helpful and the team kept pulling things away from me. Even to the point where I was working with my assistant and asked if I should be there for the opening dinner. Their response was essentially like, we'd prefer if you don't, not that we don't think you'd add value, but then you essentially take away from everybody's perception that we're running it. And that was a really tough thing to hear. Landed in Denver, so head into the hotel. First thing we decided to do is go hang out with my longtime friend Mike Brown.
Bro, I love it.
All right.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
See you in a minute.
All right, see you in a bit. See you at 3. Bye. Downtown Mike Brown, he's my car guy. The only reason I have cars is because Mike showed me how to buy them. You buy them properly, they're awesome. Mike's cool because he was the first person that convinced me that I should get a McLaren. And I know that sounds crazy because they're like, why do you need to be convinced to have a McLaren? I don't know if you've ever felt like worried that your success might make other people feel less than, but I struggled with that my whole life. And Mike, amongst other people, literally poured into my brain and said, no, you can do good with it. And eventually I renamed that whole thing to the McLaren mindset that I give 100% credit to Mike influencing in my life. I come from a long, far distance. We're at Mike Brown's casa, friggin' Home Design Digest Home of the Year. And he's also got a fleet of cars. Mike's my car guy. You know this, man. First guy to sell me on getting a McLaren, put a bike on the roof. That was awesome.
It's my favorite thing to do.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I watch the car market like the stock market.
Yeah, he literally sends me a spreadsheet with an analysis. Dude, the funniest one when I did the offer on the Pista, I offered them more than they were asking because I got confused. And he goes, good news, it's only this much. And I was like, I meant this.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the color.
This is the STO guts. It's got the STO motor and the internals. But it's
Without the crazy
big wing and aero. And it's an STO performance.
Yeah.
Crazy.
The best way to find friends like Mike and honestly even find a partner in life is go where good people hang out. So I met Mike at an entrepreneurial event racing cars at a place called Dirtfish. Mike had just sold his company and was in the middle of writing a book, and I had been working in media and creating content. So we just connected on that level, and then he started coming on my snowboard trip, and he's been my snowboard buddy on that trip now for 5 or 6 years. You want to get on a plane, you want to go to events, you want to go to seminars, you want to go to masterminds, you want to go, literally you can even go to the Olympics, and you'll probably find other people that care about going to the Olympics that are good people. But that's where I find them. That's crazy. Look at this. Looks like you're in a hotel. It's like
an art gallery.
just every day, start up here and do a piece of content. Call it Stair Walking with Mike.
Stair Walk with Mike?
Yeah. From Mike's house, we left to the Founders Dinner downtown. I love hosting dinners in new cities. I mean, one of the coolest things for me is finding people in a city that I enjoy, or maybe I don't even know them. Oftentimes I'll just go through Instagram and I might ask people like, hey, who do you know in this city? And I'll just invite them. So when I go, I've got old friends I haven't seen in a while that I'm excited about. And then I have new friends that I've never even met that I get sit down and talk with. How are you?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah. We literally just
Look,
got
it's
back.
Ann. Dinners are always gonna allow people to put their masks down. Most people walk around with a mask on and they act a certain way. There's something about sitting down and having dinner where you take the mask off and you don't you kind of let loose, and then it's change of environment too. So one of the big ideas is you always want to change environments because it creates a deeper connection. So if you're in one room for the whole day versus 3 different transitions, the transitions create almost like a reset for collisions and new conversations. So day 2 in Denver, we wake up, we immediately go get a pump on. Then we shoot 2 podcasts and then end the trip off with speaking at the SaaS boardroom event, where I shared some of my most powerful business advice you definitely don't want to miss.
It's crazy that the group is doing its thing and it doesn't need me. I think in life, there's a lot of things that are better because you're there. They don't necessarily need you, but you think they do. And if you actually just pulled yourself away, you'd realize they don't. Hey, Mike would know this, that there's a lot of business owners that think they have to be on every call with a customer.
The thing I heard about this is your team needs to learn from you, not lean on you. And if you show up to every call, your team leans on you.
Huge realization, because I'm like, I've been doing this group for 6 years. Yeah, it was so weird. Like I just showed up and everybody was good and they're talking and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go home now.
Dude, holy f***. You got a license for those?
Stop that.
That was cool. Cool. We got the SaaS Academy pod that I'm a guest on, and then we got the Unbreakable Wealth pod that I'm a guest on. We're just shooting both in the same spot. Johnny and Matt are my homies. I mean, we got Johnny, who's now the CEO of SaaS Academy. He came in as a client. He eventually sold his SaaS company, eventually convinced him to come lead customer success at SaaS Academy, knowing that that was the beginning of something much bigger. Matt, similar story, came in as a client, exited his company. Then I needed an ops person in SaaS Academy, and Matt's just like so systems focused and cares a lot about SaaS and software. So Matt became the COO at SaaS Academy and still my business partner. And it's just super cool finding people that you want to do life with, that you respect, that are incredibly talented. You know, if I've got a gift, it's identifying talent. One of the most powerful things on that is teaching your team how to connect people. So people are scared because they're like, well, I don't know anybody. The cool part is you only need to know one. So just go up to a group of people and talk to one person. It's like, hey, Johnny, nice to meet you. I'm Bob. What do you do, Johnny? Well, I'm the CEO of this company. Oh, cool. Where are you from? Blah, 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 blah. That's all I need to know. Then I turn around, I'm like, hey, I'm Bob. And you're like, I'm Matt. I go, hey, Bob, Matt, do you know Johnny? It's like, no, Johnny's from this city. He's the CEO of this company. You guys should connect. You don't even know why I'm introducing, but you think, well, he's obviously making an introduction for a reason. I do this at scale. It's the thing that people always remember. Some folks are more introverted. They're not willing to go up to a group of people that are strangers. So you helping connect those people, you'll then see them continue the conversation and then end up sitting down together. And on the second day of an event, that's their homie. Because you just said hello and asked them where they're from and what they do, and then just said, oh, do you know this person? No, I don't. You know they don't know them. Yeah. And you just make the intro.
I love that you touched on the McLaren mindset. It's for the kids, right? Because sure, there are going to be some haters that pull up next to you in your Honda Civic and shake their head and they're mad about it. But what I've found driving a supercar is you pull into a gas station and it brings joy to everybody's life. Yeah. Kids run over, they want pictures with it, right? And we get to share that with the world. We get to show them, hey, supercar owners don't have to be dicks. Not only that, what do they ask you?
What do you do?
What do you do?
And that was a money mindset I grew up. Anytime we saw a Ferrari, my dad would say, oh, he's in the mafia. My belief was people that drove those kind of cars were criminals.
So no wonder 40 years later, you have a subconscious program running in the background that people who drive these cars are in the mafia. One of my favorite Dan Martel quotes, the world will show you where you're not free. Even after all the success, the money to go, I'm scared to show up in a McLaren. Yep. And you're actually robbing all those kids of the joy of being able to go to at-risk youth.
I will tell you, the first time I drove up in the McLaren, the difference in their attentiveness, it's like I didn't have to say anything. There was no preamble. Teach us, talk to us. We don't even care who you are. And as soon as I started talking and teaching, they were like listening and taking notes. That was pretty special. Boom. Bada boom, bada bing. After the podcast, we all headed over to end the day at SaaS Boardroom.
Dude,
I can't believe you're here.
I know.
I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
It's so awesome.
That's where I got to catch up with Lincoln Murphy, who's the top guy in customer success. He literally wrote the book on it. And Kevin McCardle, my business partner for Big Band Software, where we buy a software company every month. That's a $100 million holdco. And just teach my clients the top things that I've been learning in life and business right now. What's working for me the best right now. And that's what I get to share with them.
Hate to bring in the party, fellas. Yeah. Let's go.
That was a quick break.
Most of my stuff, though, is about mindset and being a more full spectrum human. It has nothing to do with SaaS, although most people would assume that.
There is not a human I know more that challenges me individually than Dan Martel himself. And so please give a warm welcome to Dan Martel.
Appreciate that, man. What's up, everybody? You guys having fun? Yeah. What? Yeah. There we go. Okay, has anybody ever noticed this? Sometimes you have like a vision for what you want to achieve and you catch yourself. You have these moments where you think like unlimited, expansive, like it's beautiful, you're excited. And then all of a sudden you catch yourself, self-doubt, fear, anger, frustration. And what I've gone on the journey for myself over the years is really challenge myself on why those things even come into existence. There's really two big limiting components to the handbrake being on as you drive towards your goals or your revenue growth. The first one, everybody write this down, is limiting beliefs. Okay, so they're all about beliefs. Limiting beliefs. And limiting beliefs, if you're here and you want to go there, what they do is they create a road bump, okay? In life, our limiting beliefs, okay, about our capabilities create the speed bumps. It doesn't stop you to getting to your goals, but it makes it harder. Does that make sense? Now, the other belief is negative beliefs. This one's a funny one. Around the achievement of the goal, okay? So here's how this one looks. A negative beliefs is the answer to the question that some of you guys may not realize you have, which is what scares you most about being rich? What scares you most about being absolutely shredded and fit? What scares you most about having the most deepest loving relationship with your spouse? The reason why I moved the conversation towards mindset and less kind of like tactical business growth is that the other speakers are literally the best in the world at what they do. I knew that my clients would get that fill from them. I wanted to share with them the perspective that's going to allow them to take those tactics and translate that into execution. So what happens is we have these moments where we have these aspirational goals, but we don't realize that we have negative beliefs around the attainment of that goal. And what happens in those moments, and this is even worse than the limiting beliefs, is those create self-sabotage. And self-sabotage brings you right back to the beginning. When these things happen, I want you to ask yourself 3 questions. 1, is it true? What we need to learn how to do is create separation around the trigger or the belief and the conversation we have ourselves. I know this might sound crazy, but I still remember the moment Johnny and I were talking about this. In your mind, there's the thoughts and there's the person that observes the thoughts, but they're separate. There's the person conversing and the person that's hearing it, and the response is where the opportunity is not reacting. So the first question I always go to anytime I have an emotion or response here, I ask myself, is it true? The second one is, how old is it? Now, I'm not gonna get into this unless you guys ask me questions around it, but most of us that have reactions out here is because of our history. When you really want to put the gas pedal on and not drive with your handbrake on, you should come back to these 3 questions. Is it true? How old is that? And what would need to be true for me to feel good about it? And usually it's just working through the process. If you're feeling like you're driving with the handbrake on, this is the process to come back to. That's it. I got to bounce. Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate ya. I'm so proud of my team. At the end of the event, I was just like, impressed. Every client was through the moon. The NPS score, so we always do a survey at the end of events, was the highest score we had ever done. And it was cool because I was very much 100% removed from the whole process, the planning, the execution. What a friggin' operations, holy moly. They got it dialed in. My ego is always, I'm getting over it, but I literally was in the back, I was like, where's the confidence bond? I'm like, oh, they forgot it. And I get up there, it's right there, perfect. The mic was set up. They had the hold slide on the flip chart.
Yeah.
Workbooks are dialed in.
And people were just talking about the experience, the things they learned, the other people they met. And I got to see the team flex their creative muscle and make decisions that might have been different than mine, but honestly better than mine. So even though it was hard to let go, it was actually a very valuable lesson to be reminded of.
I just got a text message from one of the people in that room. He said, dude, I hate you so much sometimes. Thanks for speaking into my soul today. And another one, when you speak your truth, you will show people where they've been living a lie.
So that wraps up our time in Denver. Let me know in the comments what your biggest takeaway was from this video. And if you like this one, check out my recent video speaking on stage with my wife in Calgary, and I'll see you on the other side.